I just want Mom Mother's Day edition by Yelli illustrated by Daryell Earl. Little Tatiana sat in her bed. She pulled her chin down and hugged her knees tight. Is today really the day? She wondered. At the foot of the bed sat a beautiful dress. It was purple and green with tiny paisley swirls. It was a big girl dress for a big girl day. Mommy, Tatiana whispered. I don't think I'm ready yet. Tatiana tried to eat, but her breakfast didn't taste the same. Her tummy felt like it was full of wiggly butterflies. She looked at her plate and then at her mother. She didn't want to be away from her mommy. Why do I have to go to daycare anyway? She thought. Can't I just stay home with you? She asked. Mommy felt a little ache in her heart, too. She didn't want to be away from her baby girl, but she knew it was time to go. She stayed busy packing their bags and getting everything ready for the car. It's going to be a wonderful day, Tatiana, Mommy said with a brave smile. When they got to the car, Tatiana didn't go to her door. Instead, she climbed right into the front seat. She wanted to sit right next to Mommy. If she stayed close enough, maybe they wouldn't have to say goodbye. Can I sit right here today? She asked. No, Tati, Mommy said gently. You have to stay safe and snug in the back. Mommy made sure Tatiana was safe and snug. Click-clack. The seat belt was buckled tight. Mommy closed the door and climbed into the driver's seat. As she looked into the rearview mirror to start the car, she saw it. Small, shiny tears began to roll down Tatiana's cheeks. Oh, my sweet baby, Mommy thought. Her own heart felt heavy, but she knew she had to stay strong. Mommy and Tatiana arrived at the daycare. Tatiana looked out the window, but her tears made everything look fuzzy. The faces of the other children and parents were just a blur as they walked inside. She tried to read the big sign on the building, but she couldn't make out the words. Her heart was beating fast. She sat very still and gripped her seat belt. She did not want to get out of the car. Mommy held Tatiana's hand as they walked toward the door. The other children playing in the yard were just colorful blurs and noisy shapes. Tatiana kept her head down, her vision still fuzzy from her tears. Suddenly, a kind voice called out, Good morning. You must be Tatiana. We have been waiting for you. Tatiana looked up. Through the blur, she saw a teacher with a big, bright smile. Even though the world felt shaky and distorted, this one face looked steady and kind. Mommy and Tatiana stepped inside the daycare center. Everything was bright and busy, but Mommy stopped and knelt down so they were eye to eye. She gently wiped away the tears from Tatiana's cheeks. I know you are sad right now, Tatiana, Mommy said softly, but I know you're going to have an amazing time. Try to make a new friend and have some fun. Mommy will be back to get you before you know it. Tatiana's tears ran faster than Mommy's hands could catch. Mommy reached into her bag and pulled out a soft purple handkerchief. She gently dabbed Tatiana's face. Are you sure you have to go, Mom? Tatiana whispered between sobs. I want to go back home with you. Please. Tatiana's cries did not fall on deaf ears. Mommy felt her daughter's sadness so deeply that she couldn't help it. Her own tears began to fall. Right there in the middle of the classroom, they held each other in a long, tight embrace, crying together for a moment. After a big hug, Mommy took a deep breath and pointed toward a table nearby. Look over there, Tatiana. They're doing arts and crafts. The friendly teacher they met earlier was waiting at the table. Why don't you go see what they're making? Mommy encouraged. Go have some fun with the other children. Slowly, Tatiana began to walk toward the craft table. Mommy kept walking toward the door. She didn't look back, because she knew if she did, she would run right back and pick Tatiana up. Tatiana stopped and turned around, her face still wet with tears. She hoped to see Mommy waving one last time, but the door was already closing. Mommy was really gone. Mommy, Tatiana shouted. She ran toward the door, but Mommy was gone. Tatiana stood there for a moment, her heart feeling very small in the big room. Just then, she felt a gentle hand on her shoulder. It was the friendly teacher. Tatiana, why don't you come over to the activity table? She asked with a warm smile. It is time for arts and crafts. We would love for you to join us. Still feeling very heavy and sad, she finally gave in and walked over to the activity table. She took a seat and reached for the paper and crayons. Even though she was surrounded by other children, she could only think about one person. With a shaky hand, she began to draw a picture of her and Mommy together. She missed her so much, but drawing their faces made her feel just a little bit better. Tatiana loved the picture she was making. She drew herself and Mommy holding hands, and she added beautiful red hearts all around them. But soon, the teacher announced it was time for recess. Everyone lined up to go outside, and Tatiana tucked her drawing away safely. Outside, the sun was shining, and the playground was full of energy. Tatiana climbed onto the monkey bars and began to swing. But even as she hung there, her mind drifted back to Mommy. She remembered how every Tuesday back home, they would go to the post office together. She could almost hear the sound of the heavy door and see Mommy smile as they stood in line. Even while playing, she was counting down the time until she could be back by Mommy's side. When recess ended, it was nap time. The lights went low and the room became very still. While all the other children closed their eyes, Tatiana stayed wide awake. She held onto her purple handkerchief tightly. As she lay there, she thought about all the fun things she did with Mommy. She remembered their movie nights, the taste of the popcorn, and how they would laugh and laugh together. She wondered if Mommy was thinking about those happy times, too. Tatiana also thought about all the yummy treats they made together. Mommy was the best cook. When they baked, they always made a big mess, but they had so much fun. They would get white flour on their faces and laugh at how silly they looked. Tatiana squeezed the purple handkerchief and whispered to herself, "I wish I was with my mom right now." The happy memories kept flooding into Tatiana's mind. She thought about bouncing high on the trampoline and rocking out with her #1 fan, her Mommy. Holding the purple handkerchief close, she finally felt her eyes close. Just like the other children, Tatiana drifted off to sleep, dreaming of the next time she would be back in her Mommy's arms. Before she knew it, a gentle voice woke Tatiana up. "Time to wake up, Tatiana," the teacher said with a smile. Tatiana rubbed her eyes and looked toward the door. To her amazement, there was Mommy. She was standing there waiting happily with open arms. Tatiana couldn't believe it. The long day was finally over, and her favorite person was right there to take her home. Both were so excited to see each other. Tatiana cheerfully jumped into her mother's arms. Mommy had tears in her eyes, too, because she was just as happy to hold her little girl again. They squeezed each other tight, then joined hands to walk out of the daycare center together. Mommy leaned down and whispered, "I have a sweet surprise waiting for you, Tatiana." Instead of going straight home, Mommy stopped at the ice cream parlor. It was a surprise mommy and daughter date. The cold, delicious ice cream was a wonderful treat, but being with Mommy was even better. "I missed you so much, Mommy," Tatiana said between bites. Mommy smiled and squeezed her hand. "I missed you too, Tatiana." "Daycare was pretty good," Tatiana added, "but I just want my mom." The end.